Thank you for joining us on Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I am Noleen Abel-Ameh, and of course this news is reaching you live from Abuja. Vice President Emir of Biu is currently in Accra, Ghana, participating in an extraordinary summit of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, on the situation in Mali. The Vice President, who is representing President Muhammadu Buhari at the summit, joins other leaders in the sub-region to discuss the political crisis in Mali and the security situation in the sub-region at large. The Accra meeting forms part of several efforts by leaders in the sub-region to resolve Mali's political crisis. While in Accra, the Vice President will also meet with representatives of the Nigerian community in Ghana to discuss issues bordering on their well-being in the West African country. A release by Laolu Akonde, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity in the Office of the Vice President, stated that the Vice President is accompanied by the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Zubairu Dada. Vice President Biu is expected back in Abuja today at the end of his engagements in Ghana. After about 5 months break due to COVID-19, the National Judicial Institute, the Apex Training Institute for the Nigerian Judiciary, has commenced its training program again. NTA's Femi Okeu monitored the virtual meeting, which was declared opened by the Chief Justice of Nigeria.
The National Judicial Institute provides for the Nigerian judiciary continuing education both for the judicial officers and their support staff. In any normal training, the Justice Obaseki Hall is always full to its capacity. But today, even though the institute has thrown its door open for training to commence again, participants have to attend from their various locations. Administrator of the Institute, Justice Rosalind Bozimo, says even though the Institute has space enough to accommodate hundreds of participants with the observance of social distancing, avoiding gatherings altogether is a better option. This training is for legal and research officers to judges across the country, a crop of judicial staff which the Chief Justice of Nigeria says are valuable organs to good judgment in the nation's justice system.
You must at all times exhibit positive traits. As legal assistants, your actions or inactions, speed of dispensation of justice or delaying it, as the case may be.
The theme of the workshop is repositioning the judicial researcher to function in the 21st century. In Abuja, Femi Okewu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, a total of 1,785 new wigs have been called to the Nigerian bar, having successfully passed the January 2020 bar final examination. Omenka Marachiku reports that 5 lawyers made first class at a ceremony held at the Eagle Square by the body of benchers in Abuja.
The new wigs have passed through the sounds and rigorous training at the Nigerian Law School, were cited to have met the requirements of court to Nigerian bar.
By virtue of the fact that I emerged as the best graduate student at the Nigerian Law School, I hope to contribute my quota to issues that are arising within the Nigerian Bar Association.
I feel so happy and I'm very, very excited. The anticipated day is now here.
Chairman Body of Benchers, OCGO Kocha admonished the new lawyers to uphold the hallmark of legal profession, which are honesty and integrity.
And always remembering that upholding the rule of law is the motto of the Nigerian Bar Association, and we are sworn to do justice to all manner of persons without fear or favor, affection or ill will.
They have to broaden their horizon because the world is changing rapidly.
The Director General of Nigerian Law School, Professor Isahayatu Chiroma, said the candidates were groomed in the best ethics of the legal profession.
Profession is not to make money, but to serve. To serve also with dignity, respect, and honor.
You have to be committed. You have to be burning midnight oil. So by the time you acquire the necessary experience, the dividend will start flowing.
The ceremony was held in compliance with COVID-19 regulations and safety protocols. In Abuja, Umenka Marachuku, NTA News.
As directed by President Buhari, the Ministers of Labour, Works, Petroleum and Power are meeting with the organized labour to dialogue and resolve all matters that are of concern to the unions. The meeting, which is taking place at the banquet hall of the State House, is for the government representatives to engage labour on government finances and show them the books. Last week, Friday, the President ordered the Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, to schedule a date with the trade unions to intimate them with the programs of government to forestall industrial crisis. This is Nationwide. More reports after this break. Stay with us. All right, the break will come much later. We are going to Lagos now. We're going to join Adiola with more stories. Hello, Adiola. Over to you.
Hello, Noleen. Good to see you. The unprecedented COVID-19 crisis has resulted in major social, political and legal challenges globally as states around the world adopt emergency measures to address the problems prompted by the pandemic. It is critical that they continue to uphold the rule of law, protect and respect international standards and basic principles of legality, as well as the right to access justice. It is against this backdrop that this report examines the 2020 International Day of Democracy and the Nigerian experience.
The value of freedom, respect for human rights, and the principle of holding periodic and credible elections are essential elements of democracy. And as the United Nations continues to promote good governance through the monitoring of electoral process across nations of the world and seeks to support civil societies that aim to strengthen democratic institutions and accountability, self-determination in decolonized countries, this role has assisted in the drafting of new constitutions in post-conflict regions, thereby enabling peace.
It's like place like United States. We've seen demonstrations where people's rights have been trampled upon. The demonstration have actually centered on racism, that Black Lives Matters.
People felt that their rights has been encroached upon. People are now forced to wear masks, like I'm doing now. People are being checkmated into gathering in large numbers. All this for the good of the people.
For Nigeria, after 21 years of uninterrupted democratic governance, lessons can be learned by countries that are yet to attain this level of stability. As Nigerians reflect on the democratic freedom they enjoy, the question is how determined are they in improving on the current model?
So democracy has to strive in all the structures of the organs of government.
The new British politician will start learning how to imbibe democracy, how to respect the voice of the people.
Political analysts advise that democracy, being the government of the people as enthroned by the people, requires more participation by eligible Nigerians to consolidate on one of Africa's strongest democracies. In Lagos, Dotun Okunyemi, NTA News.
And now to environment issues. The National Emergency Management Agency has continued its series of stakeholder engagement towards mitigating the adverse effects of floods. This time, the agency met with authorities of military formations in Lagos to put them on red alerts over impending flooding across several communities. Again, Dr. Oguyemi has that report.
Beginning to take its toll on Lagos. The most recent incident claimed the lives of 2 children at Oyebanjo Street in Ketu area of the metropolis. Mitigating the effects of the heavy downpour necessitates such visits by the National Emergency Management Agency sensitization team on flood disaster in the southwest to the headquarters of 81 Division of the Nigerian Army despite the rains. The meeting focused on the assessment of facilities and strategies.
In Lagos, there are designated local government that we have also forewarned before now to see the level of compliance with the earlier warnings that were passed, to ensure that the impact of the flooding is not felt by the masses, by the citizens.
On its part, the Army has activated the 65 Battalion, which is the unit responsible for disaster and emergency response.
We also have another unit earmarked as a disaster response unit in Alamala Barracks, that's the 35 Artillery Brigade, who have also placed their troops on standby in the event of any eventuality.
The NEMA delegation also visited the Nigerian Air Force Logistics Command, 301 Heavy Lift Group, as well as the Western Naval Command of the Nigerian Navy. In Lagos, Dr. Oguyemi, NTA News.
We're done from here now. We'll take a break and thereafter Nationwide will continue.
Thank you for rejoining us in Abuja. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari has again affirmed the determination of government to improve Nigeria's economic fortunes despite the present global challenge occasioned by COVID-19. Chimobi Walter Naji reports that the president made the affirmation at the annual conference on banking and finance in Abuja.
Regarding poverty reduction, population explosion, ensuring sector-by-sector growth, and a sustainable financial mechanism for micro, small, and medium enterprises, among others, are factors that led to the theme of this year's annual Banking and Finance Conference, organized by the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria.
I wish to re-emphasize that as bankers and fund managers, we are required to partner with government in its determined efforts to diversify the economy and reposition the country for a sustainable future. Putting the economy on the path of sustainable growth and development has been a priority of this administration.
The conference offers an opportunity for a think tank among stakeholders in finding solutions to banking challenges in Nigeria as it moves towards sustainable growth.
And the CBN will do everything possible to ensure that our deposit money banks or participating financial institutions, they flow with us in making sure that we drive extensive agricultural growth and transformation of the Nigerian economy.
The sustainable growth is part of the SDG goals, and how do we make every Nigerian have a feel that in terms of our development, in terms of our living standard, in terms of financial inclusion, in terms of education.
With the country recording its highest inflation rate since October 2016 at 13.22%, this meeting, among other things, will sort ways to change the narrative. In Abuja, Chimobi Walter Naji, NTA News.
It's one of the youngest international days proclaimed by the United Nations, but it remains one of the oldest institutions. Yes, the International Day of Democracy, launched by the UN on the 15th of September 2007. As Nigeria joins other countries to mark this day, what are some of the impediments to the practice of democracy in a COVID-19 era? Mia Ogidi reports.
Democracy Athens' best gift to the world, loved by many in principle, distorted in practice by few. This is the paradox of contemporary democracy in many countries. Respect for human rights, holding of periodic elections, value for freedom and inclusivity in the areas of affordable health, education, and justice are four critical points in the practice of democracy. But when the four cardinal points are in danger, the center trembles. So, 15th of September every year reviews the state of democracy across the world.
On this International Day of Democracy, let us seize the pivotal moment to build a more equal, inclusive and sustainable world with full respect for human rights.
Nigeria, a country daring to get it right with democracy, bearing in mind it is a process and not a project.
What democracy essentially guarantees is freedom. And one thing I know that we have in Nigeria is freedom. You can actually say what you want to say. I call on all Nigerians to be vigilant and to be actively involved in peppering the cracks that we see in the democratic institutions and machinery.
For the United Nations, democracy needs all the protection, especially in a COVID-19 era, with all the legal arsenals in the state's disposal to protect the rights of the most vulnerable.
As the world confronts COVID-19, democracy is crucial in ensuring the free flow of information, participation in decision-making and accountability for the response to the pandemic. Yet, since the beginning of the crisis, we have seen the emergency used in a range of countries to restrict democratic processes and civic space. This is especially dangerous in places where democracy's roots are shallow and institutional checks and balances are weak. Today, it is clear that governments must do more to listen to people demanding change, open new channels for dialogue, and respect freedom of peaceful assembly.
In its true practice, the will of the people shall be the basis of the authority of government. Mayor Ogede, NTA News.
With me in the studio to throw more light on Democracy Day is Yusuf Mamman Dantale, Secretary Interim Management Committee, IPAC. Sir, you're welcome to Nationwide.
Thank you very much.
And happy International Democracy Day.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Now, narrowing the International Democracy Day to Nigeria, our country. 21 years of uninterrupted democracy. How have we fared so far? Are we on track?
Yeah, thank you very much. This is a very welcoming question. Democracy, 21 years of democracy in Nigeria, yeah, it's good. We are growing, but except for a few individuals or politicians who I see as cog in the wheel of progress of democracy or democratic practice in Nigeria, and most of them are people in power, like governors of the state. I will say this, for instance, democracy represents freedom, okay, and for people to participate in government, who governs them, how they are governed. But some of these things are constrained by a few persons who are in power. Recently, I think the president of this country, President Muhammadu Buhari, have tried as much as possible to sponsor a bill that will guarantee freedom and participation of government at the local level through local government autonomy and legislative autonomy at the states. But it is obvious to all of us that if some governors who are so powerful have come together to suffocate this development, which is really undoing to democratic practices in Nigeria. And two, remuneration for political office holders or politicians is outrageous. And this value determines a lot of the process that people into government. People deploy everything humanly possible to ensure they get this power, because political office holding in Nigeria as it is today is equivalent to riches.
Okay, now having spelled out some of the challenges confronting our democracy, what do you suggest should be done to be on track?
The first thing I think should be done is a situation where people are conditioned to go and serve, not to go and make money, not to go and become rich. Okay, there should be a deliberate decision okay, or legislation at National Assembly to ensure that the remuneration that goes to public office holders is greatly reduced. But when people go to serve, you will prepare to serve. But where you go to make money, you will deploy everything legally and illegally to ensure you manipulate your ways to get there. This, I think, is the first step. The second step, I believe, should be guarantee the autonomy of local government and state legislative houses. And then 3, the appointment of electoral umpires, though INEC is trying as much as possible to ensure that we have a better electioneering in Nigeria. But still, I believe that if the appointment of INEC leaders, the leadership of INEC, is being done not just by the executive alone, but also other, a collection of other arms of government like legislators and parts of the judiciary, so that you don't just, the president don't just pick and say this is my candidate for.
Are you saying there are no checks or balances in the system?
No, of course, theoretically they are, but de facto you and I know that the checks and balances we have in Nigeria today is not watertight.
So now, let's look at, people are of the opinion that our democracy is very expensive, and they are suggesting that we should imbibe the unicameral legislation. So now, what input do you have in this regard?
Thank you very much. Now, you see, like the COVID-19 introduced a lot of things. With COVID-19, if not for COVID-19, we didn't know that it's possible for us to manage the country, okay, through the internet in a way. The webinar was introduced, and the proliferation of webinar and the internet meeting helped a lot. So if that could be done, the cost of running the legislation as it is outrageous. So I think I'm in line with what you're saying, that the cost of the legislative arm of government should be pruned down. It's expensive.
So all right. Now, on this note, because of time, we may have to stop the conversation here. Right. Thank you for your thought on Nationwide.
You are welcome.
Thank you. I've been speaking with Yusuf Mamman Ntale, Secretary Interim Management Committee, IPAC. Once again, thank you.
You are welcome. Thank you so much.
Okay. Now, moving on, ahead of the 19th September governorship election in Edo State, some candidates are optimistic of a free, fair, and credible poll in the state. They, however, appealed to the people of Edo State to vote for the candidate of their choice based on their credibility and not on party supremacy. This was while discussing Edo governorship election campaigns on NTA's current affairs program, Good Morning Nigeria. Alika Opanachi Arua reports.
With few days to the Edo governorship election, political parties and their candidates have continued to sell their manifestos to the electorate. While speaking on Good Morning Nigeria, the governorship candidates of the Labour Party and Action Democratic Party expressed satisfaction with the political developments in the state, hoping that the exercise will be conducted peacefully.
Sincerity is what we need from our politicians. Our politicians have not been sincere enough. It's not just to come and be speaking good speeches, but it's how to transform the state.
We are calling on INEC. We are not imposing. We are not violent. We are not desperate to say, oh, you must elect Labour Party. But we actually say, look at the perspective, in three perspectives. The incumbent governor's performance, those who have the capacity to sustain what they are doing, and those who have no business nearing what the governor has done, not talk of improving.
Political affairs analyst Dr. Abdulrahman Abu Hamisu emphasized the need for political education to empower the candidates with adequate skills to enable them carry out their mandates.
In most of the talks, nobody tell you this is how I'm going to improve the revenue base of the state. It's about spending, because that is the mentality. So I'm going to build market. I'm going to build road. I'm going to build hospital. Where are you going to get the funds from?
The guests also advised the people of Edo State to observe all COVID-19 safety protocols on the day of the election. In Abuja, Alika Opanachi Arua, NTA News.
Talking security and politics, the police in Ondo State says the recent fire outbreak at the Independent National Electoral Commission headquarters in Akure was caused by an electrical fault in the container housing the smart card readers. The State Commissioner of Police, Bolaji Salami, who announced this in Akure, said the investigation was carried out by the Federal Fire Service. Doris Olomuku reports.
Thursday, September 10 fire destroyed over 5,000 smart card readers, which were meant for the October 10 governorship election in Ondo State. The inferno generated mixed reactions, with politicians calling for thorough investigation by the police and urgent replacement of the card readers. Commissioner of Police Bolaji Salami said police investigation shows that the incident was not planned.
The fire incident was caused by faulty electrical connection. The containers, they put on the air conditioners there 24 hours. They don't put it off at all. And that is what the Federal Fire Service gave us, that it could be the faulty connection within the two containers.
He said the command will continue to ensure the safety of lives and property before, during and after the election. In Akure, Doris Ulmoko, NTA News.
More reports from Port Harcourt, and Dibabari is standing by. It's all yours, Dibabari.
And welcome to Port Harcourt. The capacity of River State government to execute various infrastructural projects simultaneously has been attributed to Governor Nyesom Wike's passion for growth and development, as well as prudent management for resources. The governor stated this shortly after inspecting the ongoing construction of flyover bridges in the state. Ogednyekwe completes the report.
Project inspection has been one of the routines of Governor Wike since the inception of his administration in the last 5 years. The latest is the inspection of the 5 flyover bridges. The bridges are the efforts of the Wike-led administration to open up the city, enhance its aesthetics, decongest traffic, and make commuting safer, as well as attract investors to the state.
It's not the amount of resources you get that determines the amount of projects you carry out. It is your commitment, your passion for the development of your people. So if you have very good resources and you don't have passion and commitment, that resources cannot be utilized for the good of the people.
The Red flyover is at its final stage and would be handed over to the state government by December this year, while work at the Rumoba and Okoro Nodo have reached advanced stages and will be completed in February 2021. Work is also progressing steadily at the GRA Junction and Rumola flyover bridges. For the governor, the whole essence of governance is to give meaning and bring development closer to the people. The project manager of the construction company says his firm is on track and will deliver the projects in record time. In Port Harcourt, Ogednyekwe, NTA News.
Nigerians have been urged to ensure all land and boundary disputes are resolved amicably without force and violence. A State Deputy Governor Moses Ekbu stated this while receiving a report on peaceful settlement of land disputes in a DNA clan of Abak local government area. Charity James has details.
Land and boundary disputes are some of the crises that have caused more harm than good to modern-day society. Apart from causing damages, land disputes also hinder the socio-economic activities of most urban and rural dwellers, leading to hardship and poverty. Hence, they need to promote peaceful resolution. It is on the basis of this that Akwa Ibom State government is taking proactive measures at ensuring that all land and boundary disputes are settled amicably through traditional institutions. Receiving a report on the peaceful settlement of the internal land dispute between the people of Ntoisien and Toikpo families in Ikoro-Kubara village and Toubo family in Ubanang, all in a DNA clan of Abak local government area. The deputy governor commended the warring families for accepting the peaceful settlement and Abak traditional rulers for the ability to end the crisis. He called on communities to promote peaceful coexistence and settle land disputes amicably.
We should not promote land dispute because of selfish gain.
Representatives of the warring families were present to attest to the acceptance of the peaceful settlement of the land dispute in Uyo. Charity James, NTA News.
That does it from Port Harcourt. It's back to Noleen for the rest of the news. Good evening.
Thank you so much, Dibabari. Owing to the severity of flooding in Kebbi State, the state government has taken measures to alleviate the suffering people in some communities of the state face. Consequently, patients and prisoners were rescued as the General Hospital and correctional facilities in Bagudu local government area have been submerged. Details with Musa Babaliu.
Naya Oud Rukaya Muhammadu has sickle cell anemia and in dire need of urgent medical attention. Her dilemma at present and that of her father is how to access a health facility, as the available hospitals have been situationally closed due to flooding. There is a staff nurse up there. I used a canoe to reach his house. Unfortunately, his house too is submerged. I don't know where he is, her father says.
The people have been shut down since about 3 or 4 days ago. And we have now transferred them to the district of Bagudo. They are now operating there.
The flood has taken over Rukaya's community located in Bagudo local government area of Kebbi State. At the local government headquarters, inmates at this correctional facility were evacuated to Benin Kebbi. Those whose houses have been taken over by the flood are at present taking refuge at available primary schools.
For somebody that will have a family hold of maybe 30 to 40 dependents and to be displaced in a couple of minutes without being prepared, without giving a notice, without being, informed, definitely is devastating.
Governor Abubakar Bagudu Atiku visited the local government and directed the State Emergency Management Agency to provide palliative to the people. Respite has also come the way of Rukaya, as she has been taken to the state capital for medical attention. From Bagudu, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
State governments are being called upon to collaborate and support teaching hospitals in their respective states to enable such facilities to deliver optimal health care to the people. Deputy Chairman, House Committee on Institutions, Dr. Martin Soke, made the call during the committee's visit to the University of Calabar Teaching Hospital as part of their oversight functions. Maureen Leo Ajom reports.
Investigation reveals that healthcare of citizens in the budgetary allocation for 2019 and 2020 ranked high, as it is a priority of the current administration to improve the lot of the health sector. However, in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, 2019 and 2020 seem to be years of heightened outbreak of diseases, thereby bringing to the fore the country's challenging health system. These and more reasons, especially as it concerns the budgetary allocations for the health sector and future proposals, informed the visit of the House Committee on Health Institutions to the University of Calabar Teaching Hospital.
But what we have come to do is oversight, to see the performance of the budget 2019 and budget of 2020, and then prepare ourselves to receive the budget of 2021. We can see what it's doing with the IGR, to restructure and remodel the hospital.
We're trying to remodel, we're trying to upgrade, we're trying to ensure that we offer the same facilities here that you would find in any standard hospital, so that our people will get the same level of care that they would have gone to get in some other places.
Chief Medical Director, University of Calabar Teaching Hospital, Professor Ikpeme, conducted the theme round ongoing projects in the hospital and some abandoned critical infrastructure, which are in dire need of funding and other support facilities, just as the Health Committee's Deputy Chairman is promising to interface with relevant stakeholders to support the University of Calabar Teaching Hospital. In Calabar, Maureen Leo Ajom, NTA News.
From Calabar, we move you over to Maiduguri, where Borno State government has approved engagement of 594 medical and health workers in the healthcare sector. Governor Babagana Umara Zulum announced approval of the recruitment at the end of a meeting with public healthcare stakeholders held at the Government House, Maiduguri. Mohammed Goni reports.
The medical workers bills to be engaged by the Borno State government include 84 medical doctors, 365 nurses and midwives, 45 pharmacists, as well as 100 health technicians, as well as other supportive staff. Of the 365 nurses and midwives, the governor explained, half are fresh graduates of colleges, while others were recruited from experienced persons who have retired from Borno State Civil Service. Some of the medical doctors, the governor added, were recruited on permanent basis, while some are being engaged on contract and sabbatical services. Professor Babagana Umara said the far-reaching decision is aimed at increasing the number of healthcare professionals across the state so as to bridge the existing gaps in citizen doctor and the nurses ratio and to match the increase of hospitals and the primary healthcare centers in the state.
Another milestone achievement that we want to make is also to ensure construction of nurses and doctors' quarters, which we shall embark very soon. We shall increase the carrying capacity of the general hospital, carrying capacity of most of our hospitals in the state, with a view to providing the needed healthcare delivery to the good citizens of Borno State.
The governor also announced approval of the State College of Nursing and Midwifery to begin annual foundation program that will admit 200 student nurses and midwives annually, slated to commence with 135 student nurses, with 5 drawn from each of the 27 local government areas across the state. Health Commissioner Dr. Salihu Koyabra pledged commitment of stakeholders in the health sector to improve access to quality and affordable medical services in line with Governor Zulum's objective. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
We now join Lanre in Ibadan studio for more reports. Take it up from here, Lanre.
Thank you, Noleen, and welcome to Ibadan. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde has commended the Nigerian Army for ensuring security and maintaining cordial relationship with the people and government of the state. The governor gave the commendation while receiving the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, who paid him a courtesy visit at the Agodi Government House in Ibadan. Ayomiku Ajibola has the details.
Saluting the Nigerian Army for maintaining high level of discipline and professionalism in its operational engagement, Governor Seyi Makinde said the actions of the Army personnel in Oyo State has been in line with best practice. The Nigerian Army, the governor maintained as a sense of efficiency, urging them to continue to maintain commitment to their statutory responsibilities.
We'd like to acknowledge the work that yourself and your team have been doing in terms of professionalizing the Nigerian Army, and also so far your impartiality in the political process.
On his part, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, said the Army will not share its responsibilities in enhancing security of lives and property in Oyo State and across the nation.
Of arms, where we do the co-fighting to secure our country, we only carry out the non-kinetic aspects of our activities.
The Army Chief was on a working visit to the 2 Division of the Nigerian Army, Ondo in Ibadan, the State capital. In Ibadan, Ayomiku Ajibola, NTA News.
Still on security, 47,000 candidates have applied for 2,000 vacant positions in the Oyo State Security Network Agency and Amotekun Corps. Kayode Oladusu's report is here presented.
The creation of Amotekun Corps in the 6 southwestern states came into existence as a result of security challenges facing the region.
launched 9th of January 2020 with the aim to complement the efforts of the police and other security agencies to curb crimes and criminality within and beyond the region. Based on this, Oyo State government commences recruitment exercise for the security outfit codenamed Oyo State Security Network Agency and Namatekun Corps.
The body includes Commissioner of Police Oyo State, Commandant, Civil Defense, Director, SSS, Director of Immigration, and prisons.
There's a law that establishes Amatekun Corps, and the law didn't put Amatekun under the police force.
When you are part of them, you are with them. You are not part of them, you are not with them.
The reason I joined this organization is because for self-defense.
The screening and verification of credentials of applicants is being carried out for those in Ibadan and Ibarakwa zone, while Oyo and Okiogun zone will be done thereafter.
We now be rejoining Noleen in our Abuja studio for the continuation of Nationwide.
Thank you so much, Lanre. In its quest to harmonize the consumption of technology and enhance service delivery across ministries, departments and agencies, Galaxy Backbone is exploring fiber connectivity and other service opportunities with the hope of transforming public institutions to function effectively in the new normal. This was the focus at the quarterly meeting organized by the agency to respond to the current realities.
And we have also noted some of the challenges that you have faced, especially regarding last mile connectivity. And it's our resolve to work with you as much as we can to ensure that we're able to help bridge this gap.
This has given a lot of MDAs confidence in Galaxy services, and you can also have observed the quantum loop in service offering to MDAs.
Is centered on our broadband deployment across 13 states. Hopefully, the next phase of the project, we need to deploy fiber to the core north.
F. Johnson reports that ICT directors from different MDAs who participated were optimistic that the deliberations will stimulate future engagements that will help improve the digital and communications experience of institutions. Now, after long years of dispute over the encroachment of the land belonging to the National Mosque, Abuja, there has been an out-of-court settlement culminating in the building of a shopping mall within the mosque premises. The shopping mall was constructed by the private company which allegedly encroached on the said land as an out-of-court settlement for the encroachment. The mall was inaugurated by Sultan of Sokoto and President General, Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, Muhammad Saad Abubakar. He enjoined Muslims to always embrace dialogue for peaceful coexistence as well as imbibe the spirit of giving for the promotion and development of Islam.
Especially when it comes to Islamic issues or when it comes to the affairs of Muslims. And once we are all working for Islam, we must help each other. Because this world is a temporary place for us to stay. We must work for the permanent hereafter.
Kaduna is next, and Suleiman will be our guide. Hello, Suleiman.
Thank you, Noli, and welcome to Kaduna Network Center. Authorities of the Nigerian Railway Corporation have described as untrue and mischievous a story circulated on the social media that an Abuja-bound passenger train was attacked by armed bandits. Achari Maxwell files in this account of the accident or of the incident as confirmed by the authorities.
This is the train alleged to have been attacked by armed bandits while conveying passengers to Kaduna from Abuja, a story that gained popularity on the social media.
While debunking the reports as fake news and mischievous, the station manager, Rigasa train station, Aminu Ibrahim, confirmed that some miscreants had actually thrown stones at the moving train at a village called Gidan along the Kaduna-Abuja rail track.
It is a stone, not bullet. And you can see through the glass now where the stone hit before the glass was broken. So, and it has been fixed the glass back to the normal position.
And this is the graphic work, as you can see. They claim that this coach also was attacked. And you can see if actually is attacked, where is the glasses? And these coaches, we've not even started using it. It's among the new one they brought, and we've not started using it. And they're circulating that the train was attacked, and even the first class too was attacked. This is capital lie.
The station manager further confirmed that at the time of the incident, there was no passenger by the broken window. Hence, no one sustained injury in the course of the incident.
We called the security on board that they should go to the village head and tell them to warn their children that if such thing happen again, we are coming to pick them, not the children.
He therefore advised the public against peddling unsubstantiated stories capable of causing breach of peace. In Kaduna, Achari Maxwell, NTA News.
The Nigeria Police Trust Fund will deliver a more decent housing to officers and men of the police force through massive rehabilitation of barracks across the country as it pursues its mandate of repositioning the police for efficient service delivery. Chairman of the fund, Suleiman Abba, gave this assurance in Kano in continuation of visitation by the Trust Fund to police formations to assess areas in need of intervention. Awul Salisu has the details.
Repositioning the Nigerian police through policy formation, improved welfare, training and retraining are among the core objectives of the Police Trust Fund with a view to achieving service delivery. The chairman of the fund, who was a former Inspector General of Police, Suleiman Abba, was in Kano to gather first-hand information on the living condition of the police in their quarters.
The dilapidation has gone beyond my imagination. Again, I feel terribly bad when the officer in charge of works told me that some of the buildings that are about 50 years old here have never been renovated.
Suleiman Abba took his time to have discussions with some of the inhabitants where he assured quick intervention towards improving their standard of living. He appealed to well-meaning Nigerians to generously support the Nigerian police as security is everybody's business. In Kano, Awal Salisu, NTA News.
It's now back to Noleen in Abuja for more stories on Nationwide.
Very well, Suleiman, thank you. New data coming in from the Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC) shows 132 new cases of COVID-19, bringing the total number of confirmed cases to 56,388 in the country. Of these 132 new confirmed cases, Lagos has 52, Gombe 27, Plateau 17, Kwara 10, Enugu and Ogun 9 cases each. Others include Katsina 3, Ekiti 2, while Bauchi, Osun and Rivers all recorded 1 case each. On the total case chart per state, Lagos leads with 18,663 cases. The FCT comes next with 5,447 cases. Oyo is third with 3,221, while Plateau State follows with 3,115 cases. There are now 10,968 active cases, while 44,337 patients have been discharged, with 1,083 deaths recorded so far. You are still watching Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Let's take a break. We'll come back shortly. Stay with us. On a solemn note, Borno State Commissioner of Information Baba Kaura Abajatau has announced the death of His Royal Highness Emir of Biu, May Umar Mustafa Aliu. He died this Tuesday morning at the age of 80. He was buried this afternoon according to Islamic injunction. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari extends heartfelt condolences to the government and people of Borno State on the passing of Emir of Biu, Alhaji May Mustafa Umar Aliu. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, stated that the President also commiserates with the royal family and the Biu Emirate Council on the death of His Royal Highness, who for 31 years had the privilege of leading the people of Biu with diligence and dedication. President Buhari affirms that the Emir, who was a strong advocate for peace and development in the Northeast region, demonstrated visionary leadership that was very evident to all, including his efforts to modernize Biu by supporting the establishment of educational institutions in the community. He added that the Emir's style of servant leadership for over 3 decades earned him the trust and respect of his community, contemporaries and Nigerians from diverse political, social and religious leanings, and believes that the Emir's good works will continue to be remembered and cherished in his community and the wider region of the Northeast, praying Almighty God to grant the soul of the departed eternal rest and comfort to the family of his family and Biu at large. And that concludes Nationwide today. Thank you for being with us. Stay tuned for more news ahead. Thank you.